Hi, folks, and welcome to my thoughts on a comic. And today's comic is Alpha Flight, issue 32 by Marvel. Alright, let's start what we usually do. Alright, so writer is Bill Mantlo, penciler is John Bogdanove, inker is Gerry Talaoc. Letter is Jim Novak, I think. And colorist is Bob Sharen. Okay? I probably said some of these last names incorrectly, but don't worry, as usually it'll be down below. Alright, so Alpha Flight is a team of people with abilities. Both superpowers and also not exactly superpowers. And as I was told, like X-Men. It is like X-Men. Well, yeah, almost the same. And actually, as it turns out, Wolverine was with them at some point. Alright, so currently in this issue, at least, the team consists of Novak, Northern Star, Aurora, at least that's the superhero names, Heather, Puck, Puck. I know how you pronounce it. It's Puck. So Puck and Box. That's his name. And Mr. Jeffries. He's not on the cover. All right. So they also have a mansion. Box is actually a man, a crippled man, who is probably the tech, the robotics guy. Mr. Jeffries is honestly, I'm not sure. I think he's also some sort of a scientist or whatever. Northern Star, I have heard of. Aurora, not really. But they both have superpowers, and I think they're twins. They were separated at birth, and Heather has a power suit, and Puck is a dwarf, and he's very acrobatic. So he has agility, and that's the bad guy. It looks way cooler inside. Alright, so in our story, apparently their former leader before this, Mr. Forgot his last. Hudson? I think it was Hudson? McHudson? So apparently he was killed. He was killed by someone, by apparently this suit, or something this suit was created of. And that's his wife, Heather. And now Heather is the team leader, and she wants Puck, who's in love with her actually, to teach her how to fight. She wants to fill in her husband's shoes and be able to protect, the team and herself and succeed where her husband failed. He used to be a scientist and she was his secretary. Alright, so Mr. Jeffries and Box, just gonna call him that, I can't for the life of me remember his name. So they build her this suit. They built her this suit that has power, and now, currently, they are testing it out in their cool training room, like the X-Men. And so they are, she's in there fighting. Mr. Puck thinks this is a terrible idea. He's like, "Wow, what are you doing?" Well, he doesn't say it like that, but he doesn't want Heather to get hurt. He is in love with her after all. And so they tested. Heather seems to be doing more or less okay. But then in the middle of it, she gets hit and her glasses break. And then they sent heat missiles at her, kind of like heat missiles. And she thinks I need to outsmart them, like in real battle. And she makes her suit turn off. And then she falls down and the missiles hit the wall. And Mr. Puck catches her and tells her she is a fool, which I have to agree with. Anyway, she gets mad at him for saying that. She goes to pick up her glasses. Box and Mr. Jeffries, they go down. She tells them, okay, that went more or less well. They tell her she was fantastic. Bad idea to do that. Anyway, they tell her she was fantastic, and Box gives her a new pair of her sunglasses modified so she can see. Yeah, she has bad sighting too. Brilliant. Anyway, she then says, so I'm gonna fly off and find someone who will train me. And then, like the shitty leader I think she is, she just takes off. Okay, see ya. Then Mr. Puck is upset. He also offends Box, who's his friend. And then he goes to an elevator, and suddenly he feels, we see him feel a lot of pain. Now, apparently, he has a mystical being of an evil sorcerer inside of him. And now, because he was this upset, he had managed to escape from him. We go on to the roof, where Northern Star and Aurora are talking. We need to do something. We can't even hug each other as siblings. Apparently, something happened there. Scientists, I don't know. Anyway, we move on. Something explodes. The elevator shaft explodes. They go to before that. They see Aurora flying away. Northern Star makes a comment of how they should have another leader, which again I agree with him. Anyway, then the air shaft explodes. Oh, so they're both French. Anyway, the elevator shaft explodes. This sorcerer comes out in mist, black smoke, and then they see Mr. Puck, who's apparently in reality a very very tall man, a 6'6", I think Mr. Jeffrey said. Anyway, this being comes out and doesn't let them get to Mr. Puck. They still don't know that's Mr. Puck. Then they start fighting him. Box and Mr. Jeffries, they hear the commotion from down below. Box goes into his robot suit. That's actually pretty cool. And he goes up to see what's going on. He sees the mystical being and starts helping Aurora and Northern Star fight it. Mr. Puck seems to somewhat recover and is crawling out of the elevator shaft. They continue fighting. Northern Star gets hit by the blade, which makes him 6 inches shorter. The blade takes his life source. That's what it does. Okay, Aurora is with her brother, but she has to separate from him in order to. Oh, by the way, correction, they can touch each other, but apparently things don't work. I don't know. Anyway, she needs to get away from him because she needs to shine, because that keeps the evil sorcerer away. Anyway, Mr. Jeffrey starts to run up the roof to see what's going on as well. And that's when he comes near Puck, and he's like, Puck, is that really you? And he tells him, yes, that is really me. But he's like, but you're taller and 100 years old? He tells him, no, I'm 70-something. And then we hear the story of actually Mr. Puck being very old. It was in 1939. Apparently he was a treasure hunter, you could say, and he heard about this dark blade, and he was offered money to go find it, so he did. But he didn't know that the blade was actually the evil sorcerer was imprisoned inside the blade, and by coming there, Mr. Puck has released him. And the sorcerer wanted to kill him, so Puck wouldn't try to imprison him again. And so he ended up becoming shorter because of the hits of the blade. But Puck managed to seal the evil sorcerer inside himself, keeping him, short and in a lot of pain. So they're still fighting. Box has also been hit and has become shorter. And now Mr. Jeffrey's like, well, what are we gonna do? Maybe we need some source of light, but they don't have anything. But in the end, Puck sacrifices himself again because now he's turned back to his real age. sacrifices himself again and locks the creature inside with his soul. So, not the creature, the sorcerer, so he wouldn't be able to get out. And so that's the end. He locks him back. Northern Star and Mr. Box get their life force back, but Mr. Puck goes back to his regular size, and he hopes that now his life won't be as long, so he doesn't have to live it with that thing inside of him. That's but that's the story is actually quite interesting. I did like Mr. Puck. All right, let's get to the art. So the art was okay. I can't say I was dying too much for it. Found it was a bit bland in some places. The colors anyway. They actually asked, and Jean told me this is from 1985. Later, I noticed it's written here as well, 1985. But when I first looked at it, I thought it was from a lot later. I don't know. For some reason. Yes, here Mr. Puck is horrified by Heather. Here she's like, training and. So, the art's not bad. In some places, I think it's cool, like in here with his face. But other times, it's not among my favorite. I gotta say, Heather makes a pretty shit leader. I mean, I get it, she now wants to fill, her husband's shoes. She doesn't want to be useless, but. And like, instead of being a team leader. Oh, look what a cute commercial. Instead of being a team leader, she's focusing on I need a power suit now and learn combat, and then I'll be all good. But having, a power suit or superpowers doesn't make you a better leader. I mean, that's not what she's trying to be, but it's not really what I think she needs to be, wasting her time on as a leader. Oh, that's the glasses. That's Heather, and then she's leaving. Mr. Puck. This box. I don't know. She's just flying away. You won't teach me. I'm not gonna talk to you about this. Why you refuse to teach me? I'm just gonna leave without saying anything. I mean, you're a team leader. At least talk to him. Ask him why. Why do you refuse to? No, I'm just gonna fly off. Like every reasonable adult. Yeah, it's just, look, she's just flying away, and look, something happened. Of course, it's, she can't control that, obviously, but you're a team leader. Stay with your team. That's Northern Star, that's Aurora. Here's the smoke. It's actually pretty cool. Okay, we're gonna skip. He looks really cool. I love how he looks. That's awesome. That's the blade cutting. I don't know, I think that makes her a shit leader. If she comes back, they need to have a new one. Oh, that's Mr. Puck as a taller man, and that's his adventures. That's really cool. I don't know, I think if she would have come back, I personally would have taken her position as leader and given it to someone else until she would have been ready, you just I don't know, I think it was a stupid move, I'm gonna get this power suit now and then I'll be better. No, stick with your team and slowly learn how to fight. I mean, the suit doesn't make you a better leader. Ask Batman. Batman's fucking cool. And also, that's not what makes him a superhero. He has a cool suit, but that's not it. I think Batman existed already. She could have asked him. Anyway, Mr. Puck, he looks really cool. Alright, we got some Christmas shit. That's where he makes his decision. That's a cool dramatic moment. Alright, and, oh wait, need to. And then there's the last page that, as you can see, he cuts himself with the blade, and then there's this moment. That was a really beautiful and sad ending. I mean, the poor man, also him being in love with Heather. She's just running off. Yeah, what are you gonna do? and some more commercials. I gotta say though, I do love the cover, mainly because of the colors and that. He looks cool. And the Spider-Man over there. I think that Spider-Man means something, but I don't remember exactly what. Yes, in conclusion, this is actually a pretty good story. Um, and I wouldn't mind if I find any more issues to read on how it all, you know, continues. Does where does Heather actually goes to find someone that would teach her? Apparently, there are also other team members. See more of their mansion as well. Interesting. So I don't think it's as big as Charles's, but still pretty neat. And also learn more about the characters. The art was okay. Places, not too excited about that. All right, so that is it, folks. Till next time. Oh, also let me know if you read any of this. Bye.